And social change learners, I hope you are all doing well. We are in Module 3, and I'm just going over the assignments for Module 3. So let's just jump right into the Module 3 milestone. We'll go to the guidelines and rubric. And I already said this in the announcement, so feel free to look at that if you would rather. But here we're just talking about each of the critical elements and how we're going to get there successfully. So for this critical element, you have to apply a specific theory of social psychology. And then for the cognitive one, you have to apply a specific theory of cognitive psychology. So both of these are assuming that because social psychology was a prerequisite for this course and cognitive psych was a prereq for this course, that you have already taken those classes. So for these two, you want to use your social psych text or and your cognitive psych text and cite any of the theories that were found in those textbooks. Now, if for some reason you don't have your social or cognitive texts anymore, then you could use a peer-reviewed article from the last 5 years. I'm going to go over that just quickly how you would do that. You'd click on Shapiro Library at the top of the course, click on A to Z database list, click on P for PsycInfo. That's our database. Click on PsycInfo, EBSCO. Make sure that you do advanced search. Limit your results to full text. That way you'll be sure to get the article. You don't have to order it. And make sure that you limit it to peer reviewed because that's the only articles that we're interested in. Up here we would want to say something like social theory and make sure that you choose abstract. And then once you're in here, I'm just going to get to one that has the PDF full text. I would just do Command F and just quickly look for theory. Oh, you can already see it. See how there's social learning theory, social information processing theory. You can already see them right there. And then if you click down, see, it's telling you about social learning theory in the introduction, social information processing theory. So those will help you with that first critical element, and then do the same thing again for finding the second critical element for cognitive psychology, but this time type in cognitive theory. So just make sure that you are either referring to your textbooks for these two, or if you did find an article, where was I? Hold on. If you found an article, just make sure that you cite the article properly by clicking on Cite over here, and then scroll down and grab your reference and just copy and paste that right into your references list. And then don't forget to use in-text citations when you include the information, like say you used social learning theory or social information processing theory. Just make sure that you cite by saying this name and then et al. And then 2023, and then put the full reference at the bottom. Feel free to email me if I just went too quickly. And then here you have to describe a psychological concept that could be used to heighten awareness of the need for social change. And for this, describe, any psychological concept. So just be sure that you are citing your source for the psychological concept. This could have come from any of your classes. Anything. Could have been intro, could have been anything. And just make sure that you are citing the source for it. And then for this assessment tools, the resource that I believe is best is Tools for Assessing Cultural Competence. Oh, this. Here it is. The Tools for Assessing Cultural Competence. That will help you to describe how assessment tools can be used to measure social change. And then for this one, critical first steps in developing an intervention, there's a few things that could be helpful. One is developing your social change intervention, which is found if you go into resources. You can go to developing your social change intervention. There it is. Another one is promoting social change, the most important question.
With the price of just about.
Sorry. And there it is. Promoting social change, the most important question. And then the last one that could be useful, and you only have to have one, but the 5 steps to becoming an advocate could also be useful here. Okay, and then you'll see that we are done. I mean, then it's just articulation and making sure that you're citing. So then we are back into, here's our journal activity. So look at the guidelines and rubrics. So it's talking about describe the personal factors that guide ethical decision making when choosing to support or not support a specific cause. And for this one, the resource that I think would be the most helpful would be promoting social change, the most important question. When you are talking about the social factors that guide ethical decision making, I again think that same source, sorry, I'm actually looking at the announcement, but I again think that same source, promoting social change, the most important question, would be the ideal source to use. And then for cognitive dissonance, I think that, like, cognitive dissonance you should have learned about in cognitive psychology. I mean, to be honest, I also talk about it in social psychology, so it could be in either course. So make sure that you're referring to your social or cognitive textbooks for that. And then this for cognitive consonance, again, just make sure that you're referring to one of either your cognitive psych textbook or your social psych textbook. And essentially these are just the opposite. Cognitive dissonance is that your thoughts are not together with your actions. Cognitive consonance is when they are in line. All right, that is our Module 3 journal activity. And then our last one is the video reflection. And for the video reflection, make sure that you are doing, like, for describing the interview participants' specific coping and resiliency skills that were critical. Make sure that you are referring to, sorry, where's my resources? Cultivating self-advocacy for all students on college campuses. That's going to be really helpful because it includes the 7 attributes of successful students, and it also includes the World of Learners wheel. So when it's asking you, like, here's this, when it's asking you, oh, you got to click on this. I don't know if you guys will have the same problem, but make sure that you're clicking on that so that you can see the World of Learners wheel. And if you, like, zoom into it, you'll be able to see some things that will be really helpful for this assignment. So it's talking about the specific resiliency and coping skills, and that will be really helpful for you. And then again, for the next critical element where it says how you can apply your knowledge of psychology to enhance coping and resiliency skills, I again would be using that article. That's a really helpful article because it's talking about resiliency skills. And then you just have articulation and citations. So that should be it. But definitely reach out if you have any questions. I hope you have a good week.